Strike Group recently departed Commander Fleet Activity Sasebo to patrol the waters of the 7th Fleet Area of Responsibility. This deployment hallmarks the first use of the F-35B Joint Strike Fighter on an amphibious ship, as well as implements the concept of the upgunned expeditionary. Recently departed Commander Fleet Activity Sasebo to patrol the waters of the 7th Fleet Area of Responsibility. This deployment hallmarks the first use of the F-35B Joint Strike Fighter on an amphibious ship, as well as implements the concept of the upgunned Expeditionary Strike Group.
Now, with the advent of two enablers, the first is the MV-22 and the second one is JSF. We have significant capability that we never had before in our big deck amphibs. It isn't just evolutionary, it's revolutionary as to the capability, the capacity that we now have in our amphibious ARGs.
The upgunned ESG is a U.S. Pacific Fleet-initiated concept that aims to provide lethality and survivability to a traditional 3-ship amphibious ready group.
Less than 2 months after arriving at Commander Fleet Activity Sasebo, USS Wasp has departed on their first regional patrol of the Indo-Pacific. This deployment differs from previous 7th Fleet patrols in that it will feature a couple of additions.
We'll be out at sea operating with the Wasp Expeditionary Strike Group. And what's unique is we're operating as part of a concept called Upgunned ESG, where we take a traditional amphibious readiness group and then we bring in guided missile destroyers and we add the new F-35B, bringing extra capabilities to the theater.
This will be the first time that an amphibious ready group in 7th Fleet has been augmented with the upgunned concept to create an expeditionary strike group. Petty Officer Zachary Hale, Fleet Activity Sasebo, Japan.
We're here on the great ship USS Wasp as part of 18-1 deployment, the first deployment of the Wasp in the Western Pacific. And on one hand, it's a very routine deployment. For decades, the United States Navy, consisting of amphibious readiness groups, has been patrolling in the Western Pacific, maintaining security and stability. But on the other hand, it's a historic day and a historic patrol for two reasons. Number one, starting today, we started launching and landing the F-35B, which is a game-changing capability for the Navy for team operating at sea. And the second reason is we're going to start operating with guided missile destroyers to provide us extra capability and provide senior leaders with more options on how to employ this force. So you have a traditional ARG MU with the Wasp ARG and the 31st MU. You also have F-35Bs superimposed on top of that, enormous capability with the 5th generation fighter. And then even beyond that, we have guided missile destroyers providing a broad range of mission capabilities to augment the force. Take that together, it's a group that packs a powerful punch that can undertake a full range of missions from humanitarian assistance to combat operations. On one hand, this is a routine deployment. The United States Navy, as part of the 7th Fleet, has been operating in the Western Pacific for decades. On the other hand, it's special and historic because of F-35Bs and their presence and the capability that brings, as well as guided missile destroyers. all the capabilities that the platforms bring in aggregate make this special and give us more capabilities than we've ever had. So here we are at the end of day one of our spring deployment on USS Wasp, and it has been an enormous success. It's a big day. For the first time in history, we're deploying with the F-35Bs. We took 6 of them aboard today, landed them, launched them, recovering. Now we're finished. We're heading back to a new op area, switching, and we're going to do it again. This is going to become the norm for WASP and the 31st Muse for the foreseeable future. Having this capability really elevates our game to an entirely different level, and frankly is a game changer in what we can do with the fleet. So what's making this deployment special? First, we're bringing the WASP and integrating the WASP with the 31st Muse. Second, we're taking the F-35B and superimposing that tremendous capability for the first time on deployment. Third, we're taking U.S. guided missile destroyers and their capabilities, adding that to the group. But most predominantly, we're taking the 3,000 sailors and Marines, capturing that great talent. That is our main battle, our people.
Naval history, an amphibious assault ship, USS Wasp, will armed with F-35 Bravos, a supersonic stealth fighter that does not require the long flight decks and stopping mechanisms of carriers to take off and land.
It's a historic day and a historic patrol. Starting today, we started launching and landing the F-35B, which is a game-changing capability for the Navy Marine Corps team operating from sea.
6 F-35 Bravos will land today on the strip behind me, where sailors aboard USS Wasp applied a thin layer of metal alloy to prevent the jet's powerful thrusters from melting the deck as they land.
So here we are at the end of day one of our spring deployment on USS Wasp, and it has been an enormous success. It's a big day.
Petty Officer Desmond Parks reporting on scene from USS Wasp.